welcome to all you two blue legends in YouTube land. My name is Brett Lewis. You might remember me from such episodes as episode 7, where a footy trip to Nimbin resulted in a Crispin. And episode 9, God, I wish Slavo's last name was Hunt or Punt or something like that. I could have really come up with some really witty rhyming lines. And episode 12, where the hat-trick taking hitman Faz played in a tighter V than Kepler Wessels. Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, I have an absolute treat for you. When I say this man has seen more Two Blues players roll through the change rooms than anyone in Two Blues history, I know I can say that with absolute authority. He's our games record holder, 259 games and counting. He's effectively our Michael Tuck. He even has the same wiry but resilient frame. But maybe Jim Jess is a better comparison. He's a true legend of our illustrious club, and I believe he's the only surviving premiership player. Sorry, when I say surviving, I mean he's still actively playing. I know all you guys are still out there living, but we'll explore more of that shortly. So, slip on your Two Blues shirt. Slop on some sunscreen. There we go. Slap on a stubby holder on your beer because we know it's highly recommended and it's good to relax with a beer while you go through this journey and story with Chris Morton. Welcome, my friend. Welcome.
Hey, Louis.
How you going? Cheers.
Good.
I'm trying props now. What do you think?
Yeah, I guess, the sunscreen was going to come up at some time, wasn't it?
I mean, at the end of the day, I'll start off by quickly saying that it was either you or I asking each other on a sunny 15-degree winter day, did you bring your sunscreen today? We're both. So it's sort of like another redhead calling another redhead a ranger. I mean, you're not allowed to do that. It's not the end thing, but it's sort of you and I, we can talk about complexions and stuff because we have borrowed a lot of 50 plus off each other over the years.
We have, yes. Yep. And you say 15 and sunny, even 10 and sunny. If the sun's even behind the clouds, I get burnt. So, yeah. Yep.
Nice work. Yeah. Mordo, thank you so much for joining us today, mate. So, mate, we've got a lot to go through with you. I mean, how does it sit with you to know that you're the games record holder at our club? And, you know, all these people who are doing these interviews and all the views that people are going through, how does that sit with you?
It's great actually, but yeah, I guess I just keep turning up, so no one's pushing me out the other door. So yeah, I'll keep turning up and keep playing as long as I can. But yeah, obviously, I've seen a lot of things happen over the years and a lot of good players come through. Yeah, I'm just happy to be part of it. And if I happen to be the games record holder, that's that's nice.
259 games, Mordo. I'm no mathematician, but I'm an accountant. But that sort of equates to, and using Faz's, using his scaling and the way he sort of works, the Duckworth-Lewis system, you've got to take off games for people playing under your name, and then you've got to add back more tools in the Sunscreen tool sets and all those things to come up with your 259. But I think it's a pretty accurate view of where you're sitting, and that'd be 18 years for my reckoning, roughly. So can you elaborate on that?
Well, it must be 20.
Sorry, I didn't undersell it.
Yeah, it was 1999, I guess, was my first year down there. And I guess probably if someone was playing at a higher level, they might not go as long. But if they did go as long, you know, they're probably playing 20, 25 games a season. But, you know, at our level, we're just... If you play 10 to 15 each year, and that's great, yeah. So and they just add up over time.
Well, they do.
And but it's great, isn't it, that we've actually got people to record that. So Killer's been really good. They're recording stats and all that sort of thing. So otherwise, I would have no idea how many to play.
Unsung hero, isn't he?
Yes. Yep.
So I guess the first question is, how did it all start from you? I mean, how did the games record holder first wander through the illustrious halls of the Two Blues? Sorry, I'm just going to take this off. It's a bit hot.
Yeah. Yeah, I nearly wore one of those tops, but I have worn it pretty thin over the years. So, it was good to bring out this top instead. through Cougs. So I went to high school with Cougs, and high school we actually didn't play too much footy together. He was playing soccer and I was playing hockey actually, but both of us got back into footy back after high school, and we played a year together at Rowville, and then he went off and did a bit more serious stuff. And I scratched out a few years at Rowville, but it was, it's a bit more serious. You had to get to training if you want to get into the side, and that was twice a week and coming from town and that sort of thing. And Cougs had joined Two Blues the year before, and he said, yeah, why don't you just come down here? It's a bit more relaxed. If you can make it training, it's a bonus. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. So yeah, that was start of '99. I joined.
How does a soccer player and a hockey player end up sort of are you talking about the offside rule? I mean, how does that come about?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we both love footy, and we did through high school. He was Hawthorn, I was Essendon, so we're always sort of rubbing it in. Yep. So it was just, I don't know. I guess there's a lot of sports out there. You want to try different things, and yeah.
Well, it's good that Cougar he's got two feathers in his cap now with people he's brought down who have interviewed. So Faz and yourself. So that's a growing list. So, kudos to you, Brett. Well done.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess over the years, mate, so 20 years, you would have seen a number of players rolling through the doors. Who were some of the better players that you saw playing with? And I mean, I'd like you to really expand on this. I mean, you played the back. So let's go through some of the better forwards, maybe some of the better midfielders and some of the better backs, maybe, and who you sort of threw. So, you saw a lot. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there for you. I know this is an unplanned question.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Well, it's probably I'll remember it better if I go through from the start to the finish. Probably it's because obviously 20
That's
years.
Fine. That's fine. Go that way.
Yeah. With 20 years, I've seen quite a few come through the doors, and often I've been able to just sit back in the back line and just enjoy watching these guys run around and that sort of thing. But yeah, I guess in the early years, obviously Cougs was a big presence, and Butsy, and you had Deeker and Nige and Rhino and Lukey. Lukey was in there in the early years there, and also Greenie. His name hasn't come up so much in the interviews. I was a bit surprised by that, but Greenie, he was a well-oiled machine. He was.
Can you elaborate on Greenie for us? I mean, I never played with Greenie, but I know him very well from the footy trips, and people talk about him in sort of revered terms. Or really, at the end of the day, as being a captain. And so, expand on Greenie for us.
Yeah, well, it's one of those cases of someone sort of shot down with injuries before they could, reach their full potential or whatever. But when Greenie was on fire, he was up and down on the wing. He was a bit taller and but fast, and so he could take marks as well as he was very accurate kicking. So the forwards loved him as well.
Sorry, I'll sometimes jump in. So keep going. So you're at Greenie, moving forward.
Yeah, and then obviously Stores turned up, and Evie was around the same time, and you sort of had Geary in there, and Faz, and Blakey was a good backman there. Pill was he used to roll around the midfield and bump a few people around and that sort of thing. Then you had your little guy Burjo. Burjo, do you remember him?
I do remember Burjo. Yeah. Had a little bit of the white line fever from memory.
Yes, yep. And he was a very working class midfielder. Oh, yeah. Yep. And obviously there's Howie. Howie's on your opposite scale of Burjo. Your flashy forward, that sort of thing. Though he did play a year down half back. He didn't enjoy it, but I don't know if you know that. Yeah, it was one of Rucky's moves one year or whatever. Yep. And but yeah, still he's pretty good down there. And then also, yeah, that led into Bergs coming along in was it 2007-ish, that sort of thing. And he brought his mate Coles, which was that. He was he was a tall wingman, but he was, if you thought I was old, he was,
Oh,
he's much older.
oh, mate, it was amazing the way he just kept keeping on and he was over close to 50 plus 50 and had a raking leg on him. Beautiful leg.
Yeah, yes, yeah, huge kid.
Didn't like to man up very much, but a very good footballer.
Yeah, nah, that's it. But that was good. We'd get the ball out to him and he'd be clear and he'd take a few bounces and kick it and be the other end of the ground in no time. So yeah, he was fantastic. I mean, obviously, yeah, it was sort of flashed over Bergs there. He was obviously he's been great for all these years, and yeah, we've been really lucky to have him down. And also in that era, we had Con. He was a little midfielder. He had the white line fever as well, didn't he?
He was. He definitely had a little bit of lasagna overflowing on occasion, didn't he?
Yep. Yeah, of course, Killer was around that era. Killer and Slavo and Goynie and Siebes. And then you had Crispy joining in there, the crazy backman.
I mean, Crispy's been talked about a bit in this, but how did you enjoy playing in the back line with Siebes and Crispy? I mean, you spent a lot of years when I was there with those guys down there. Elaborate on that.
Yeah.
Expand on that.
Well, it's just good to have a taller full back in the side, I guess. Because Crispy started down full back. I know he ended up forward a bit more, but in the early years that I played, I was often the full back. But yeah, obviously I'm not the tallest
position, isn't it? The full back.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it was good to have a someone who wanted to play full back for starters. That way I could play somewhere else. That was good. Yep. And yeah, Siebes, obviously, yeah, he was good at centre half back there. So you sort of just had to watch out where you were. If you were going back for a mark, you'd sort of just make sure that Siebes wasn't coming the other way. But that was all right because you could rely on him crashing the pack and bringing it down. And then, yeah, if you didn't mark it, then you could sort of clean up after him. Yep. So, yeah, it was good being out there with Siebes. And, yeah, and then also we had Gunga turn up.
Yep.
That was, he played a couple of really good years with us. And then came sort of more into the recent crop where Scotty turned up and then the newer guys, Jimmy and Davo. And, yeah, Davo's been, another classic white line fever, I guess, guy, midfielder. We seem to attract him somehow.
Yeah.
And
he hasn't been talked about either too much, Davo, has he? Because he's been a real linchpin of the modern, the last sort of half decade, hasn't he? So, yeah, please tell the boys out there, I mean, those older boys about what Davo's brought to the team and how he's come in. I mean, I think he's worth an interview personally.
Yeah, definitely would be. Yep.
I'm not saying that people haven't been interviewed aren't worth an interview. I'm just saying that he'd be a very good interviewee. Sorry for everyone who hasn't been interviewed. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I guess he came from playing out in the West, the deep West, I guess. So yeah, he knows how to play it rough and tough, I guess. So he's been great, sort of around the on the ball, sort of accumulating possessions, and you sort of get the ball, chip it away, and then you'll follow up for the next one and that sort of thing. So yeah, and he's been the captain a couple of years there, and so he's been a big pick up. I think through Goynie. I think he was a friend of Goynie's.
Yep, that's correct. Yeah.
Yep. I haven't been able to be out with him too much, but apparently he goes all right after games as well.
Yeah. Well, as we get older and have the kids and things like that, mate, it's a bit harder to get out each weekend, isn't it now these days? The days you do have a crack at it and then pack it away for 6 months and then let loose again. And we'll get to that, Mordo. That sort of that side of letting it loose a little bit later in the discussion. I think you know where I'm referring to. Certain little magical place called Byron.
Oh, oh yeah, Byron's a fantastic place. Yep. I don't know what you're talking about.
So, is there any other players that you want to sort of? I think everyone's going to enjoy that little trip down memory lane. A lot of names, a lot of things coming out. So, if you could file it down to probably your best three that you've seen playing, that would be. I've got to put you on the spot there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty tough. I'll have to go Cougs first. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased, having been a good mate of his so long. But just once again, just sitting back in the back line. If we got it down forward, we know that Cougs was going to definitely mark it and kick a goal, because he was very accurate in front of goal, which is pretty good at our level.
Which was an oxymoron considering the style he had, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe people should follow that style. I don't know.
And what are you drinking? What are you drinking there, Mordo? What are you sipping on?
Oh, I just got just a Bolter XPA.
Quality. Sorry.
Yeah. That's an easy one to start on that beer before I go to sort of stronger IPAs or something like that.
I thought you were going to say the stronger whiskies, but you're only going to the next level of beer.
Yeah.
So
he played quite a few games too, so he was there for the long haul and so forth. And who else? Yeah, well, obviously Stores. Just that real gun midfielder. And he played for several years as well, so he must be high up there with a number of games as well. So yeah, he was a great character around the club as well. So always had his jokes and so forth. And he was I guess he brought a bit of Swan Hill with him at first. I remember. Well, we'll probably go to footy trips later, but he was quite wild on that first footy trip I went to Sydney with him. Which he settled down a bit in the years after, but yeah. Yep. It was. I actually was lucky enough to play on the ball quite a bit in the later sort of noughties and early teens and that sort of thing. So I did get to play alongside Storer a bit there. And,
Sorry.
Yeah. I got to watch him at close quarters there, and it was more, get the ball out, go in, get the ball and get it out to Storer, and he'd take off and dodge a few and kick it long into the forward line. And of course, Bergs, no surprise there, I guess. Once again, a well-oiled machine there. He's just kept going and going, and he could play anywhere, I guess. He was often the back line, but he'd go up forward and snag a few, but then he'd be in the midfield as well. And then he'd be backing it up, playing footy for another club on the Sunday, the Super Rules.
Super Rules or something like that. Crazy man.
Yeah, yep. And he's still going too. So, he's, once again, he's a bit older than me, so I've got no excuses not to keep going.
No, doing a great job. I think that was brilliant, mate. I think everyone's going to really enjoy listening to that, and a lot of names thrown out there. Some really, really fantastic players, and what a trip down memory lane that was. I mean, that was brilliant. Thank you so much, Mordo. All right. So the awkward question: which AFL player best reminds you of you?
Oh, okay. Let's see if you can guess.
You can't skip away.
Let's see if you can guess. Very skillful, silky smooth, accumulates a lot of possessions.
Gary Ablett Jr.
Nah, you got it. I was going to go.
Mil Hannah.
Looks like me, Mil Hannah, yes. one guy, a few people used to compare me to, once again, because I haven't got any hair, I was Andy McKay from Carlton. Yeah, sort of running around off the half back with the socks down and very white skin, and yep.
And his son's playing now, but he was a quality. I'd 100% agree with that. I mean, he was a reliable defender, all-Australian defender, I would have thought. Smart cookie too. I think he's a vet. He's a vet or something like that as well. So yeah, I'd agree 100%. He's a great player, and his son's playing now. Yeah, for Carlton. So let's go. Actually, there's a little side thing. You've got three boys. It's Oscar, Mitchell, and Troy. Now, tell the audience here about how you're helping your kids get better at footy and how you designed your house. I think this is hilarious. So please tell. We're jumping out of this, but you just reminded me of something. So tell everyone what you did to the house and told the architect to do.
Yes, yeah, of course, yep. Yeah, well, I guess one thing about playing footy, is that I've been able to bring my boys along, and they love their footy now, and they're always kicking the footy and playing during the season when they can. Obviously not at the moment, but of course. Well, we needed the roof redone. So yeah, we made sure it's on a slant. Well, the front's on a slant, so we made sure it was strong enough that footies could be kicked onto it and would bounce off, and they could take marks over each other in the front lawn there. Yeah. So yep.
That's a Father of the Year. That's a Father of the Year nomination for me. I mean, imagine everybody out there. Could you imagine if your parents designed the front of their house so that you could take speckies on your brothers? I mean, come on, how good's that?
Yeah. So yep. No. Encouraging them as much as possible to follow footy and.
I must admit, a lot of our boys got on pretty well because I used to bring down Marley, and I think there's a lot of people out there. As you get older, the kids come down, and it's great for the kids to see Dad running around and interacting. I think it's a great life lesson for them personally, but probably out of the bounds of this interview.
Yeah. Yes. Oh yeah. It's been fantastic being able to bring the boys down, and they just sort of go off to their own devices. They'll run onto the field at half time or quarter time and kick the footy around, or they'll be off climbing trees, or just getting out in the open, which is fantastic. And then later on in the rooms, they'll be going through the ice bucket and try and put ice down the back of Faz's top and that sort of thing. Yeah.
How about the snakes?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Killer's mum she wasn't too happy when the boys found the snakes and started eating them before they got to us. Yeah.
Brilliant. All right, mate. Well, I've sort of sidetracked, but I think they're lovely kids, and I think a few of them have got a future in football. Definitely, or all of them have got a future in footy. They're handy little players. So going through, have you got any good memories from playing days? Anything that happened out in the field that you want to sort of highlight?
Oh, gee.
Tough one, isn't it? Because there's so much out there. But what for you in your play? What made you want to keep coming back? So rather than particular efforts on the field, but what was it for you that kept you wanting to come back week after week, year after year, decade after decade? There's got to be something special that was going on there. So rather than playing on the field, what was it for you?
Yeah, well, it's just catching up with your mates really, and getting on the field, and then going into battle, and just sort of just the little things like the bumps and all that sort of thing, and learning each other's strengths and weaknesses and that sort of thing, like someone's better on their right than their left, and all those little tweaks and whatever, and just being competitive, and it's you always want to beat the other side. There's always a few idiots on the other side that you want to make sure that you're up at the end of the game and that sort of thing. And then it's it's just sitting down in the change room afterwards and just taking a deep breath and cracking a beer and then just sitting there and just discussing stories and things about the game, or it might be just sitting there and not talking at all. Yeah, just enjoying the moment of being able to say that you've competed, you've put in your best, and you're able to just sit back and enjoy a beer because of it.
That's nice, mate. Now, one through. Like we always do is go through the injury. Can you name your injuries? Sorry, let's stop. Pause. Have a beer. You're doing well, mate. Just good. You're nailing it. So, injuries. I mean, what can you go through your injuries? And we know. I want to hear the story. You know which story I want at the very end. So, can you build up to the injuries I want to hear about? So, go through your rap sheet.
Yeah, well, I guess I've been pretty lucky over the years, apart from a couple of years ago. But and that's one reason I've been able to keep going. I think the body's held up pretty well, and working an office job, I don't have to depend on my body during the week for work or whatever. So that's probably one reason why I have been able to keep going. Whereas many guys haven't been able to. They've wanted to, but they haven't been able to that way. So, I mean, there's always soft tissue injuries. They're not that exciting, but, I got old man's calf injury a decade or so ago. And I've had it since. I don't know what you call it since, the old man calf injury, ancient calf injury, or something like that, and you have your hammies and your groins and all that sort of thing. And but nothing too serious, which has been good. I broke my thumb at some stage there and dislocated fingers. Yeah, but overall pretty good. So I guess I was ripe for a serious injury. So a couple of years ago, and it wasn't really an exciting story or anything, was it? It was.
I think you can make it exciting, mate, because it was. I mean, wasn't there there was a milestone involved?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then all your family's there, mum, dad, everyone, and the kids. Right. So there is a story here, mate.
Yes. Yeah. That's right. It was a milestone one. Yeah. No, I'm not big on milestone games, and I haven't had much luck in them in general. I think if I think back, 50th, I think we lost the prelim final to Zabs or something to go out, and or 100 games was more fun for everyone else.
What happened?
I don't know if you know that story, but Howie sort of called me out in the rooms beforehand. Yeah, Howie called me out to sort of sit up in the middle. Out in the middle of the change room, and just sort of, do a quick spiel about 100 games, blah, blah, blah. That's good, whatever. And then he proceeded to spray me with fake tan. And it was sort of like, it must have been a barber's chair or something like that, because he could swivel it around. I don't know where it come from or whatever. So, he's swiveling me around and spraying me with this fake tan or whatever, which I would have been great if it was done properly and it was nicely smoothed out and all that. But of course, it was blotchy as. It'd be a dark patch here, and he'd miss this, there, and whatever, and my legs were all over the place. So, just the opposition just had to go at me all day. What have you been doing out there? Yeah, So, that was it was good. I think, but having said that, I got off lightly, being a milestone 100th game or whatever.
I think that boy got done pretty badly for his 100th, didn't he?
Yeah. There's some worse ones there. Yep. Yeah, definitely. So, no, and and I guess I can't actually remember the 150th or the 200th. I think the records sort of went a bit wayward there, and it was only that Killer picked it up after that.
Yep.
250th, yes, was down at Ormond.
That's right.
Ormond, and once again, milestone games, and I don't know, I don't like them, but even just getting to the game, I had trouble. I was on slab duty, so yeah, I pulled into Dan Murphy's and picked up the slab and then got out to my car, and it had been raining. Well, it was raining very hard, and I'd left the lights on, and of course my car wouldn't start. So I'm stuck in the car park with the slab first, and then trying to get someone to jump my car and that sort of thing, and then finally got to the ground, and Faz nicely wanted to do a talk about me and that sort of thing, and here's everyone ready, and I'm just trying to put my trying to get my gear on and all that sort of thing. So I got one sock on, and he's sort of telling the boys about how I've been here for a while and blah blah blah, and and then they're going, come on, you got to get out there, there's a banner, and I'm going, oh yeah, I still got to put my other boot on, and it's probably one of those ones, like a dream where you dream about something, you just can't get there. You always got things to do, whatever. But yeah, got out there, and ran through the banner, which was fantastic. The boys who put it together and so forth. And and then it was just a normal game, I guess, until the third quarter. And I hadn't done too much, but I'd been there, I guess, just as probably as normal. Just doing my bit where I could. And then, it was in the back pocket, and the ball was pretty well over the boundary, and I was just sort of paddling it over, just making sure it went over. And and then someone just slid in. I don't know whether they lost their footing or whether, they were trying to come in and bump me just to make me earn it or whatever. But the guy slipped or whatever and slid in and got my foot caught under him and then pushed me in the wrong direction, and dislocated my ankle. So
I think dislocation is a really soft word here, because it was horrible, mate. So keep going. So did you feel it sort of go? Because I mean, we'll show photos. So there'll be photos here as I'll get Gears. We'll slip some in for us. G'day, thanks for everything you're doing, Justin Geary. So keep going. So he slid through, went through. And I remember everything just stopped, and I remember like the whole both teams just stopping. Like it was just shock. It was shock. Like even the umpires, it was like that was it. Everyone just sort of put everything away. It was just like we're stopping for a while, right? Is that how you probably wouldn't remember anything? Was there pain? What happened?
Well, I think it was the shock and my foot sticking out the wrong way that really sort of got to me, I guess.
It was like this. It was flopping.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was pointing out one side. So, and I knew it wasn't right. But I wouldn't say it was like excruciating pain. I don't know whether it was just your body kicks in and whatever, and sort of numbs it a bit for you or whatever.
Yeah.
But I could see it wasn't right. So I was letting everyone know, wasn't I? I let everyone know that it, that I wasn't that comfortable. But so
I remember running. I ran across the oval because I was doing the clipboard, and your two boys are on the fence. And I remember saying to your mum or your dad, like, get them away. And then we had all the problems with trying to get the ambulance onto the field, trying to get the right key and all those. We couldn't get a key, and then I worked out the ambulance have a key to everything. So I looked up becoming an ambulance, the ambulance Victoria after that. But they came in, and then they tried to pull your boot off, and the guy got snarky and he said, mate, like they're trying to pull your boot off. And I think I've talked about this in another episode, but your skin was stretching out, and I pull up, like under his shoelaces, mate. And he's like, I'm just like, he started, should he have me? I'm like, well, you can't pull his bone's not attached to his leg. So every time you pull on his boot, it's like Elastic Man. It was like, that was happening. I was just like, oh, mate, this is why I've gone on about it in a couple of episodes. It was just horrific. And then the green whistle came out.
Yes. I don't know if you've tried that stuff, but it's fantastic.
I've had to have it once or twice on the footy field.
Yeah. So obviously it's to numb your pain or whatever, but I was ready to come back on. Yeah, but I felt like a fly around the and stuff. Yeah.
Well, all you needed was a couple of glow sticks and the back of the ambulance to be cheeky monkeys, and it would have been going bananas. All right. So keep going. Sorry.
Oh no, yeah. No, it was So I got it was probably, it was good to have a milestone game, 250. You end up with a bit of attention, but yeah, that was probably too much attention. Just me lying around the field and everyone having to wait for me and wait for the ambulance and all that sort of thing. But yeah, yep.
And as a credit to you, Mordo, because it could have easily ended at games record could have easily ended at 250 right there, and no one would have said anything about it. But you came back and you kept fighting on. I mean, and you even when it happened, I remember you saying like, "No, I'll keep playing." I'm like, "Oh my God, how are you doing this? This is amazing." So, as I said, you're a long time retired, right? So is that your mentality?
Yeah, that's it. And especially after that, I thought I've just got to get back, even if it's just one game. I've got to, because yeah, with injuries and that sort of thing, if you don't sort of do the right recovery, do the right things, it's not going to heal properly. So yeah, so I sort of made sure that in my mind, yeah, I hadn't given up. That I was going to do everything to get back, and that way, yeah, it kept me doing sort of the right things. Mostly
Yeah.
the right thing. Was making it get back to as much as useful as possible. So yeah, that I could run on the footy field again. And yeah. Obviously, it was a bit sore and so forth a year later when I was running back onto the field. But I think by using it improved, and now it's fine. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's, as I said to everyone out there, we'll have some pictures up. Mind-blowing injury. So I was segueing before into the footy trip. It's always an interesting one. We all know the rule about the footy trips, but I have done, like for all the interviews I've done, I have gone out to sort of our brethren out there and asked, for a few timbits, and all that kept coming back was cheeky monkeys, dance floor, cheeky monkeys, glow sticks, dance floor, cheeky monkeys. So it's obviously something here, Mordo, and I mean, obviously it's all Emirate, but can you tell us what the footy trips were for you? Because you're always there. You're always on the footy trips. You're always, you were there going along, always having a crack. And then I sort of remember thinking, I'm the last one to go to bed here. And then you'd wander around the corner and it's like, where have you come from? Like, what's going on, Mordo? Like, so then talk us through Chris Morton by night on the footy trip, please, in your own stories. Or what did the footy trip? What did you love about the footy trips? And what did they mean to you, the footy trips?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, footy trips are always good. Yeah, just to get away, from the normal day-to-day life, and yeah. So yeah, you always want to give it a good crack. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I haven't been able to come to all footy trips in that time, but yeah, I've been to a decent amount, and yeah, it's been, they're always good. They've always got their stories, and always got.
What were some of the better memories of the footy trip then for you? I mean, what do things stand out for you? I'm not going to put yourself. I know you're not going to say anything. I'll sort of carry on a bit about go dancing, all that. We all know that you're a pretty mild-mannered sort of guy. But what were some of the more highlights of the footy trip that stand out for you?
Yeah, well, it was always just the different parts of it. You rock up one night and you have a big night, and then the next day, you get out to the bowling club, and so you do that, and that lead into the best and fairest, and then you all be out in the town together, and then as people dropped off, you then sort of started looking for the next place, which it might have faster music and bigger bass line or whatever. I don't know. Yeah. Don't know about glow stick, but the faster BPM, and BPM. I don't know, where do I start? I guess we had a couple of great years in Sydney in the early 2000s. I remember really fantastic nights, which followed the same formula. But then me, Holly, and Timmy Morn got out to a place in Bondi, and we're on the dance floor most of the night, and on the vodka Red Bulls and that sort of thing, and then saying that, saying that, you get back, it might be the early hours of the morning or whatever. You lay down in bed, and then someone's busting in your room, and it's Rhino, and he's got this trumpet and he's blowing it and stuff like that. So there's always, I might give it a good crack, but there's always others who take it a little bit further. That's what I'm thinking. And then there was also, I don't know if you remember, but the Cairns trip. That was a good little different one in between a lot of Byron trips.
I think Reece Stevens organised that one, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, I think he had to be up there for some reason, didn't he? So he got us all up. Yeah, us all up there, and I remember being in a room with you and Slavo, and that was and that might have been your first year or something like that, because I don't think I knew you that well at that point. But yeah, had a fantastic footy trip with being in your room and Slavo's room. That was good.
Do I have to apologise?
No, it's all good. All good. And then, obviously Byron. Yeah, it's been some fantastic times in Byron, and whether it's just hanging out at the different pubs in the area, or and then getting to Cheeky Monkeys, or finding some other little sort of nightclub off the beaten track that playing a bit of techno or that sort of thing, or even somehow finding yourself at some local house just where they're having a party and that sort of thing, and you've just crashed it and that sort of thing. But footy trip's been a lot of fun.
Excellent, mate. That's brilliant. Oh, you bring back so many memories for me. I mean, we could sit here, and too bad we're on video, but there's so many funny stories that come out of those things, isn't there? And it's all harmless fun for everyone out there. I mean, we just harmless fun. So we're sort of coming towards the end of it, Bordo. I guess it'd be good for you to give us. We sort of touched on it before, and you sort of said, what's the essence of the Two Blues? Well, what makes it a special club? Why are we all sitting here talking about it in such, as I said, revered terms at the moment? What makes it so special for you, and the people and all that sort of stuff? So, just in your words.
Yeah, well, I don't know how I've done it, but we've always had good guys at the club. Good personalities, good characters, that sort of thing. Everyone's it got the right mindset about it and that sort of thing. It's you want to play seriously when you're on the ground, but off it, it's you've got your normal day-to-day life. You've got work and family and all that sort of thing. But it's all about sort of catching up with each other and going into battle and that sort of thing. And that's it's been a big part of my life, obviously, for the last 20 years. I don't know. Well, obviously this winter it's been very strange. It's sort of even, it's just got into August, and it becomes sunny and windy, and you think, oh, gee, I remember these days, finals days down at Elstonwick Park, where it's nice and sunny, but it's blowing a bloody gale, down one corner of the ground and that sort of thing. And it was just that, just a week ago, it was that typical weather. And I'm going, I'm meant to be playing finals at the moment. And just everyone down there and catching up with people. I mean, it's hard to catch up with people all the time during the year and that sort of thing. So it's a real good excuse just to get down there and be able to see people you haven't seen since the last season, and then catch up with them each week and so forth. Yeah.
I think everyone's looking forward to getting it back, mate. Really, just getting back to normal at the end of the day, right? So I can only imagine how hard it is to know you can play and not to be able to do it because of something that's completely out of your control. It must be dry. It drive me bananas, mate, if I was in that situation. So in saying that, then a message for all your teammates out there right now who are doing it tough, and I guess a thought for the future for them, and why is this the place they should be?
Yeah, well, definitely the right culture. Yep. So, well, I guess mean, I guess probably one thing I do generally regret at the end of each season is that maybe I haven't trained enough. I haven't put my best foot forward, I guess. So yeah, so just a message, just if you're going to have a crack, if you're going to play, yeah, try and get down to training or try to do something during the week, that sort of thing. And in these sort of times, yeah, just try to keep active and so forth for next year and that sort of thing. I mean, it's not a long season, so if you are going to play, yeah, definitely commit to it. Once again, it's not overly serious, but more you sort of you won't regret it, I guess. The more you put time you put into it, the better the outcomes and so forth. So yeah, that's my main message. But otherwise, yeah, you're definitely at the right place, and you know, the new batch of guys that are down there that are continuing on the legacy of everyone past and that sort of thing are doing a fantastic job. And yeah, there's just so many interesting characters, and that, you know, whether it's people, past rugby players from Queensland, or is it Irish people who have come over and they know Johnny and so forth, or it's just someone who has always wanted to play footy but haven't been able to for whatever reason, just coming along and having a game, or it's people who have played at a high level and been very serious at it, but now they can't put in the time, but they still want to get on the ground and do something. So, you know, it's a perfect place. I mean, but I was there from a young age, and it was just so much more fun than where I previously played. It was just, didn't have, it wasn't, it was just a lot more fun, and without that taking it too serious, I guess.
Yeah.
I do want to put in a thank you if I can. I mean, obviously, what's been good for me is that you know, I help out wherever I can, but basically, realistically, I guess I just get to turn up and play footy, which and then just go home. You know, it's been fantastic for me, and I do appreciate, you know, all the extra hours, all the volunteer people have put in, like past coaches, and or you have your goal umpires turn up, like Schmitty in the early days, or Stewie now, or you have your boundary umpires, or you have if no official umpire turns up, you have people like you, Louis, who did umpire a game or two, or that sort of thing, and Scotty Hayward, and then so yeah, just and then yeah, you know, all your people behind the scenes doing the admin stuff and whatever. You know, Killer's been fantastic with that side of thing. You know, doing his all the stats and all that sort of thing, as well as running Super Coach and so forth and whatever. And so and definitely the coaches, you know, you have to put in so much time either side of a game or around training and that sort of thing. You're battling with people turning up and not turning up, and there's a very transient footy club, I'd say. Private, you know, people blow in for a couple of weeks and then you might not see them again, or they might turn up a few weeks later, or someone decides to get married in the middle of the season and takes a whole bunch of people off to Bali or wherever. I really appreciate all the people who've kept the club going. So basically, I could just turn up and just have a game of footy. Yeah.
No, I think it's beautiful words, mate. I think it'll be much appreciated. I know that I appreciate the words. I know that everyone else does, and I mean, it goes without saying, people do it because they love it and they love the club. So that's where it's all at. So, is there anything else you want to add, mate? At the end, is there any more thank yous or you know, anything?
No, that probably covers it. No.
Well,
thank you.
mate, you've been a true superstar. I've loved it. I mean, it's been a great chat. I've had a ball. So I'll just say I'd like to thank Chris Morton for all the years he's put in. I mean, he thinks he hasn't put his best foot forward. I mean, come on, 259 game stalwart of the club record holder. But we all know when he puts his best foot forward is when there's BPMs happening on the dance floor, cheeky monkey. So thanks to Morto for a great chat. Have a good one.
Thanks, Louis. Thank you.